AS-Level, Sequences and Series. Exam Preparation Examples, Part 1. You will find this in the Grade 12 AS-Level Y equals mx+c to Success Mathematics textbook, and it will be from page 42. There you will find this table. It's always good to first go back to the textbook, work through the basics, and then you can tackle this extra exam examples. But let's start. Now, this table is very important because it's not very long. You have to, although I think it's on the worksheet, so it's not necessary to memorize it. So just remember, AP, there's a constant difference, and if you want to find it, that's the formula. And in a GP, there's a constant ratio, and that is the formula. And the TNth term, and the TNth term for the GP, the SN term, and the SN term for the GP. So on the formula sheet, you will find these formulas. Just know when to use which formula. And then there's sigma notation, and then the sum to infinity, where the value of r will be bigger than -1 and smaller than 1. Okay, so I will just, if you need any information, you can just go to that table. Okay, or in the examination to the formula sheet. But let's start with an example. And I think I started in this, my approach was to first selected the APs, and then the GPs, and then the combination, and then to go to the practical example. So I tried to organize it a little bit for you. So let's start with the first example. Just going to make it a bit bigger. The 13th term of an arithmetic progression is 12. The sum of the first 30 terms is -15. So the 13th term is 12. Okay, so we can start there. And don't forget, then I'm just going to use my TN. There is my TN formula. Now, I like to just put the D in front. Sometimes you will find it on the formula sheet that it's at the back. And the only reason, because it's easier than to multiply in if it's in front, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so they tell you it's 12, so that's why I put the 12 there. Then I don't have the value of A, not D, but I know the terms is 13, so 13 minus 1. So 12 equals A plus 12D. That's my first equation. They love going to simultaneous equations. Okay, there I showed you the formula. Then the sum of the first 30 terms. Remember, it's always very important to highlight. It's an AP. Okay, so the sum of the 30 is -15. Now, again, I fill it in. It's 30, I fill, and I simplify, and I got my second equation. Now, try to simplify it first. So I just divide it by 15, and then rather work with this as your second formula. Remember, this was your first one. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to solve it simultaneously. I could have said here, solve, let me just get my pen in order. Solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Okay, not necessary, but that's what I'm doing. So I try to make, if this is 2a, then I make this also -2a. So I multiply, I did it there, I cancel out. Do you see the 2a's cancel? I divide by 5, and I get the value of d is -5. Okay, and then I just substitute it in this, the value of d to get the value of a. So, but then it's not, they like asking a lot of things, and it's very long working out, but not very difficult working out sum. So find the sum of the first 50 terms. So 50, I just substitute, and I just get my -5, and I remember there's my -5, and there's 50 minus 1, and a is 72, and I just simplify, and that will be my sum to 50, -2525. Very simple. So I started with a very, very simple one. Okay, so let's see, where is the next? I just want to go to the next page. Okay, so I want you to stop the video, and I want you, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. I want you to do number 1 and 2. And again, you can do it like this. You can do 1, stop the video, and then continue to check if you're correct, and then do the same with 2. Okay. So, let's start with number 1. Just going to make it a bit smaller again so that I can have place to start writing. Okay, let's start. Number 1. The sum of the first 20 terms of an arithmetic progression. So I always go S 20 is 405. And the sum, so it's again sum, okay, so the sum of the first 40 terms is 1410. Okay, now I'm going to start and write formulas for that. So let's make 405. Now it's always good to, I'm just going to do it in red there. So what is my formula? It's n over 2, then bracket 2a plus bracket n minus 1d. Now usually I put the d then there, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I know it's 20. Just get my color in order again. Okay, so it's going to be 20 over 2. I don't know a, so I'm going to end up with 2 equations. I don't know d, but I know it's 20 minus 1. I think I just put the d in front here. Okay, so I simplify, and it's 405, and this is 10, and this is 2a plus 19d. I simplify further, and this is 405, and this is going to be 20a plus 190d, and that will be equation 1. Okay, now I do exactly the same with that one. So I'm going to substitute it there. I think I can do it like this and do it on the side. So I'm going to say 1410, and it's going to be 40 over 2, and it's going to be 2a plus d, and then it's going to be 40 minus 1, and that. Okay, so it's 1410, and that's 20, and that's 2a, and that is 39d. And then I'm going to simplify further, and that is going to be 40a plus 780, let's just get that, plus 780d. And now I'm going to just see, I can leave it like this because that's 20, but I see I can divide it by 2, but I think for now I'm just going to leave. But if I divide it by 2 and multiply with a negative, it will also work. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply this. So because this one can also simplify, can you see? But it's not necessary. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to multiply this one with negative 2. There's a negative 2. Then I'm going to get negative 810 equals negative 40a minus 380d. But don't forget, it's still number 1. Okay, then I rewrite number 2. And what will number 2 be? 1410 equals 40a plus 780d, and that is number 2. And then I just draw a line, and I'm going to simplify this. Okay, and if I subtract, I'm going to get 600, and that is going to cancel, and that is going to be 400d. And then I'm just going to simplify, so I divide 400, and I divide 400, so therefore the value of d will be 1.5. But now I must still find the value of a. So take any equation. I'm going to take equation 1. So it's going to be 405 equals 20a plus 190 and then 1.5. And then I'm going to add up, and it's going to be 405 equals 20A plus 285. Then it's 405 minus 285 equals 20A. And then 120 equals 20A. And I divide 20, so therefore the value of A is equal to 6. Okay, but that's not the final. So be careful to just stop there. What was the question? Find the 60th term. Do you see there? Okay, so we go on. We have now A and we have D. There it is. Okay, so now I'm just going to go up and I'm going to say T6. Oh, be careful. Did they ask the sum? Or did they, let's just go back. Or did they ask, be very careful, the term? Did you see? So not the sum, so they asked T60. Very important. Don't make that mistake. Otherwise, they would have said the sum of the 60 terms. Then it will be T60. Don't forget that Tn equals A plus D n minus 1. I just put the D in front. It doesn't matter. You can leave. So it's going to be 6 plus 1.5, and it's going to be 60 minus 1. So it's 6 plus, and if you subtract, simplify, you're going to get 88.5. And if you simplify that, it's 94.5. And that will be your 60th term. So if you want, you can say therefore, and I like to go red, now go red, go up, the 60th term will be 94.5. Finish. And that's how you do number 1. As I said, a lot of calculations. You can skip some of the steps to go a little bit faster. But be careful. Sometimes if you skip steps, you can make unnecessary mistakes. So just be careful. Okay. Let's do number 2. And I decided, because it's such long sums, that I'm going to do example 1 in a video, example 2 in a video. I think at the end there will be 6. So I'd rather make it shorter videos due to the fact that these examples take actually quite a long time to work out. I don't want to make the videos too long. Okay. So let's start. I'm just going to look at number 2. Okay. So let's just get a color. That would be nice. The nth term of an arithmetic progression is, now okay, I like writing down. So it's a half 3n minus 15. Find the value of n for which the sum of the first, okay, let's just quickly go there. Find the value of n for which the sum of the first n terms is 84. I just have to change that. So where the sum of the first n terms is 84. Okay, so let's just start. So if I'm going to, the first thing, because I have the formula, and this is actually just a little bit of thinking, I can work out the first 3 terms, and then I can find the value of A, and I can find the value of D. So if I just go and I put 1, and I say a half, and I go 3, and I go 1, minus 15, and that's going to be, and this is going to be negative 12. Okay, so negative 12. But the answer is going to be negative 6. Okay, then T2, so that will also be the value of A. So the value of A is negative 6. T2, okay, it's going to be a half, but now it's going to be 2 minus 15, and it's a half, and it's 6 minus 15, and that answer is going to be negative 4.5. And then T3, it's going to be a half, And then it's going to be 3 minus 15. And that's a half. And that's 9 minus 15. And if I simplify that, I'm going to, actually it's not necessary to work out the third one. Because with the first two, and I know it's an AP, I can find everything. Okay, but I think just for now, I'm just going to continue with this one. So it's negative, so it's going to be negative 3. Okay. So, because that's negative 6, negative 3. So I can find the value. So I have the value of A. So this was not necessary. Okay. I can find the value of D. Let's just do another color. I can find the value of D by saying T2 minus T1. And if I say T2, that's T2, negative 4.5 minus negative 6. And if I move this up, that's going to be negative 4.5, negative 4.5 plus 6, and the answer is going to be 1.5. Okay, so that will be my value of D. Now let's just go back to the sum. I have now A, and I define the value of N, for which the sum of the first N terms is 84. Okay, so now they talk about sum. So now I go to sum. So don't forget, sum is N over 2, 2A plus bracket N minus 1 D. So they say that the sum, they must find N, and they tell me the sum. Let's just go back. I just want you to make sure. So find the value of N for which the sum is 84. So I don't work with Tn, I work with sum. So I just go 84. I don't know N. I want to find N. I know A. Can you remember A? There was A. It's negative 6. There is A. It's negative 6. It's, okay, I'm going to put D again in front. I know D. What is D? It's 1.5. And I don't know N. N minus 1. I'm looking for N. Okay, so let's just simplify this. Now, when it's an AP and it's sum, I always, just to get rid of this fraction, I just multiply it on the other side. Because actually that whole thing is on 2. So if I multiply 84 on the other side, I get 168. And it's going to be N. Okay, so there's the N. Then it's negative 12 plus 1.5 N minus 1.5. And now I'm just going to simplify. So 168 equals negative 12n plus 1.5n squared minus 1.5n. And if I simplify this, this is 0 equals 1.5n squared. If I simplify this, I'm going to get negative 13.5n minus 168. Now, I think the best is, before I factor, to multiply just with 2 so that I can factorize. But you can use the formula also. So if I'm, now I'm going to divide it with 1.5. This is what I did. I divide it with 1.5. So if I divide, just check that you don't have fractions anymore. Then I have n squared minus 9n minus 112. And now it can factorize, but remember, otherwise just go for the formula, negative b plus minus b squared. Okay, but it can factorize. So the factorization it can do is, but it's a bit challenging, 16 and 7, 1 and 1. Because 16 minus 7 will be 9. The biggest over cross product will get a negative plus positive n. So it's going to be n minus 16 and n plus 7. So if I say n minus 16 equals 0 or n plus 7 equals 0. So n equals 16 or n equals negative 7. But do you remember that n is the position? So you cannot run a race and your position was negative second. You didn't reverse the race. You cannot run a race and your position was 2.5. No, you're either second or you're third. So you cannot, a position cannot be a negative number. So therefore, you end by saying, therefore, n must be a positive whole number. N must be a positive whole number. Therefore, I should have put the therefore rather there. So therefore, n is equal to 16. And that is how you do it. Okay, I always like to just end the videos, and let's just go to documents. And I just want to show you where you can find copies, because I always say you have to go to the basics. Everything is just, come on, open. So if you want to, and you don't have a copy, which you can use in your school. If you have a copy, it's excellent. Use it, give it back to the school at the end of the year. But if you don't have a copy, try to buy your own copy. You can check out this bookshops. I just want to say, I don't know, I never mentioned it in a video, so I'm going to mention it in some of these videos now. All the workout solutions of the textbooks are in the teacher's guides, and it's also available for students to buy. It's just a tool that you must use very wisely, but it's a very powerful tool because it can make you to work independent. So if you get stuck, you can just go to the teacher's guide and you can check out the fully workout solution. Okay, I just want to say this week, Walton's, now I'm in the week of 8 May, so Walton's was actually ordering a lot of teacher's guides. So go and check out at Walton's. You can also find the other bookstores, but go and check out to see if you want to buy a copy of the teacher's guide.